Well, hello, children. Welcome to my masterclass. Today's topic is deck building. I have no idea where I was going with that, with that bit. Anyway, guys, today's video is going to be on the topic of unique deck building. This was inspired by Tracy Cakes. She recently posted on Twitter that she was going to be looking for somebody who was good at deck building because she wanted to maybe do something about deck profiles. I don't want to spoil it. You guys can follow her on Twitter if you want to know. I'll put a link somewhere in the description or the linked comment or the pinned comment for you guys to go check her out because the content is grade A over there. Just saying. Anyway, point being, I kind of had like a catty corner inspiration to make this video, and today's video topic is about deck building for unique decks, or unique deck building. You guys know what I think, know where I'm coming from. And before we get into that, I think I need to express to you what I think a unique deck is in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! So a unique deck in my mind is a deck that is basically built by the player base and not something Konami initially intended us to play. So basically, what do I mean by that? Konami likes it when we play archetypes, specifically mono archetypes. Point being, you know, there's archetypes and then there's multi-archetype decks. So that being said, that's kind of the difference. If you're looking for examples of this, think like Mech Knight and Vote, Hat. These are decks that have multiple archetypes usually, and they're just not intended by Konami for us to play them together. Specifically, Hat's really the primary example. We're all, you know, but there's other ones too. The point being is that that's what I think a unique deck is. It's a deck that is not intended by Konami for us to play, and yet somehow we still went, I wonder if I take the piece of this deck, and a piece of this deck, and a piece of this deck, and then boom! We have an explosion of something that is competitively viable. So, that being said, that's my example, and we're going to get into giving you guys what I think is the best path to go about creating a unique deck that can keep up with the meta. So first things first, you got to think about is Hey, real quick guys, I forgot to add this in the video, so sorry. I'm trying to come up with a nickname for my subscribers, the Ben 10,000 Watch You. I know I don't even have the watch on. Anyway guys, before we get back to the video, I wanted to give my YouTube audience the chance to get in on this. So you guys, I want you to comment below, what should I call you guys as a nickname? I've gotten some really good ideas from Twitter, my Twitter account, and the Legion of Superheroes Facebook group, and a little bit from the TFTK Facebook group. So you can comment there, or you can comment here. Either way, I'm going to see it. I just want to know what you guys think would be a really good nickname for you guys to be called. Alright, back to the video. Budget. How much money do you actually have to set aside for the deck that you want to build? Now, some of us are a little bit luckier, you know, us older Yu-Gi-Oh players typically have, you know, bulk cards around, you know, where we can kind of pick and choose and go, okay, well, let's try this engine with this engine and this engine, and, you know, and see what we can do to kind of cut corners on a budget. Because, like, you know, especially if you have a lot of cards, you can kind of look inside your bulk and go, I wonder if there's any hidden gems, and kind of cut a corner there. That being said, yeah, money's important. If you can't afford infinite impermanence, you might want to think about Effect Veiler, if you know, that kind of thing as an example. The next thing that you want to think about is style. What is your play style? Are you more like myself, or you like to play like really big monsters that kind of just, you know, you want to more like a beater type player, like myself, you know, with dinosaurs, or you know, maybe you're like a One Punch Man style in that same vein with like Grand Maju. These decks are very, you know, big monster go boom kind of style deck, and they're in that same vein. Or are you more of a control player, and you like to play things like Altergeist or Guru, where, you know, you want to mildly annoy your opponent as you play the game. That's kind of the example. Are you more control? Are you more aggressive? You know, or maybe you prefer to stun, like, you know, like say barrier statue. I speak English, I swear. Barrier statue, stun. You know, that was a thing for a little while there. These are just examples of the kinds of decks that you might want to build them upon, and think about what is your play style. So, That's another key factor. Now, once you've picked your style, these are the next parts that you want to think about. The next part that you want to think about is consistency. Now, this is the thing that I want to stress to you the most. Consistency is king, alright? You have to be able to get to your plays faster than anyone else. Unfortunately, if you're playing a unique deck, you are already at a disadvantage. Unfortunately, Konami very much likes to push decks that are very like, okay, add Emancipator and Eldritch, they want to push their big meta deck, whatever it is, for that time being. Now, luckily, there is a unique deck that is in the meta that has just recently entered. That is the Invoked Shaddoll Dogmatica deck, as an example of a unique deck, because it's 3 archetypes in one that weren't exactly intended to be used. I think, just from the way it looks to me, it doesn't look like it was in the way that those cards came out. Konami envisioned us playing them together in the way that we currently are. Anyway, calling back to consistency. These are the cards that are going to get you to your cards, alright? These are your draw cards, your search cards, these are your play starters. This is like your tour guide, your Oviraptors, your Stratos, if you will. These are the cards that allow you to get your plays going, and you need to get to them quickly and establish whatever it is kind of style you want to go for. That's why, Extravagance and Desires are, and all these cards are so popular, and there's a reason why a lot of the draw and search spells are limited and or banned. It's because Tsunami's evil. But you didn't hear that from me. Anyway, the next part that you want to think about is the I guess you could call it the flip side to the coin of consistency, and that is your interruptions. And yes, every deck plays interruptions. These are your hand traps. These are your quick effect monsters that are on the field, like Trident, or Pankratops, or Altergeist Siliquidos. These are your walking the gates, like, Stardust Dragon, or even, Crystal Wing, and Clear Wing, even to a point. These are the kinds of cards that you're going to need to get onto the field quickly, because these are the cards that are going to slow down your opponent. And if you look at the way Altergeist and Guru typically play their interruptions, yes, that can include Floodgates. Floodgates are just personally, to me, they are right there next to Crystal Wing in the, the interruptions or disruptions, if you will, for the opponent. Because there's literally no shortage of cards that are an example of interruption and disruption. If you're looking for some examples, some of these cards are better than others, and that is just something that you're going to want to think about for you personally, based on your own budget and based on your own preferences. So, interruptions. And the last thing that is that is one of the key important pieces when you're building a unique deck that is multiple archetypes and something that maybe your opponent will not see coming, is experimentation. Because this is the thing. If you look at the Dogmatica Shaddoll Invoke deck, somebody had to test that out before everyone else saw it. You know what I mean? Like, for example, what I mean by that is when we were still calling the Dogmatica, the Dragma or Dragma archetype in the OCG, somebody looked at that and went, I bet I could combine it with this, this, and this. And they were playing it in the OCG section before it came to the guys like myself, who typically only hang out in the TCG. Point being, don't be afraid to experiment, and if it doesn't work, try something else. Keep tweaking. You're going to come up with something that somebody is not prepared for. And and if you can do it even at a fraction of the cost of what they're playing, especially if you're one of the few people who is going to locals right now. I know I'm not. There is just something very satisfying about beating somebody with a deck that is a fraction of the price of theirs. Anyway, guys, that's all I have for you today. This is the deck building tips for unique decks. If you think that there is more tips I should give for other types of decks to build, like, maybe budget or stun or, aggro, whatever the kind of deck description is, Let's get this video up to like 20 likes. I think that's an easy number. If this video gets 20 likes, I'll do more tip videos. So anyway, guys, I'm Ben10000YGO. I'm your friendly neighborhood Yu-Gi-Oh! Superhero, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.